Hey guys, so I'm looking for more bridges today, and today I am at the Durgin Bridge in Sandwich, New Hampshire. This is framed with a paddle-forward truss with the arches, and we'll go inside and take a look at those. The year of construction for this bridge right here is 1869. I believe the original bridge, well, it says right up there on the sign, was 1828, and I'll explain that in a minute. Original cost unknown. The bridge is 96 feet long, clear span of 72 feet, an overall width of 19 feet, with a roadway width of 13 feet 10 inches, maximum clearance 12 feet 9 inches. Bridge is posted for 6 tons. Let's see, we have some historical remarks. Now, the first bridge construction at this site was built to replace the ford located nearly a quarter-mile upstream. The ford carried the heavy traffic of bygone days across the river. The current bridge is the fourth one on this site. So they had to rebuild this bridge 4 times. The others were washed away. Isn't that something? So in 1844, 1865, and 1869. So in 1869, it was so violent that iron bolts used to connect the great bed pieces, the middle pier, to a large rock were twisted and broken. So that's how bad the floods were, to where the bridges got washed away so many times. Let's see, the bolts that were ripped away were 2 inches in diameter. The existing bridge was built by Jacob Berry of North Conway. Berry claimed that the bridge was so strong that it could be filled with wood without causing it to fail. There's no evidence that anyone ever attempted to prove his theory. The bridge is named for James Holmes Durgin, who ran a grist mill nearby. The bridge was also a link to the underground slave railroad from Sandwich to North Conway. Didn't know that. There's some interesting information there. Milton Grattan, a name we've heard before, and his son Arnold repaired and strengthened the structure in 1967 to 1968. It was rehabilitated in 1983 at the cost of $48,000. Durgin Bridge is listed on National Register of Historic Places. So yeah, there's some interesting information right there about this bridge. So what I'm going to do is get out and I'll go look underneath first if I can. The water's running pretty high right now. We've had a lot of rain, but I think I can probably take a peek under there. But this bridge, it really actually looks, even though it's as old as it is, it actually looks older than what it is. So it hasn't really been touched for a long time. So we'll go take a look at it. All right, so right off you can see where the arches come down into the concrete here. And I counted, I believe there's 20 laminated boards. And we'll go up and see the rest of that. So I'll take a look under here and see the other arch coming down right there. Just massive, massive beams used, and of course they're bolted to hang the other pieces on. You can see where they meet right there. One goes all the way through, one starts here and continues. It's just really some big beams. This is pretty much as standard as it gets right here. And you can also see some beams from the paddle-forward truss coming down and meeting those beams right there. And the paddle-forward, one comes down, and then there's bracing off of that, and we'll see. It's not really an X pattern, but there are braces coming off of it. And we'll take a closer look at that up there. All right, so there's not too much traffic here. I don't know if there's a campground out here, but there's some, there'll be some cars coming through here and there. Let's just take a look at this. And again, you see that paddle forward design. We have a big post, and then this coming down, and it notches from this one to this one and down. So like I said, sort of an X pattern, but not really. It's kind of offset. So I'll show you where these are notched into here. This notched into here. Right up there, it's notched into that top beam. It's hard to see down there, but that's where you'll see some of those actually coming through the bottom. And that's the pattern all the way down. Here, here, and then one going all the way across, just like that. It actually it spans this one, and into the next one. And that's the paddleford. And also the arches, which we've seen before. Massive, massive arches. Take a look at that one on the other side. Really incredible. You can tell these boards haven't been replaced in a while. Some can't really move it, but you can see it's kind of popping up. And you can see the rods going through those supports I showed you underneath. Yep, very nice. That's why I mean, as old as it is, it actually looks older than it is because it hasn't really been, you know, there's certain types of maintenance they have to do to it, but it's pretty much untouched. You can see some of the boards on the outside are broken away, rotted. So, all right, we'll keep looking around here. You can see they have the wooden guardrail going through here, but where you get here, it's actually part of the bridge. They had to kind of angle it in to catch. That's where they wanted to connect it, is against that arch right there. So you can see this kind of swings out a little bit. That's interesting. Basically, it's a continuation of a guardrail, I would think. That's what it looks like. Got some wooden pegs here, dowels. There's one right there that's actually sticking out quite a bit. We used one here, looked like sort of like a wedge. Wooden dowels here and there. There's a lot of bolts, but mostly you're going to see those dowels too. And here's where you can see that beam coming down right here. And you can see how it's notched into the upright beam. Boom, like a bird mouth. All right, on to the next.